Happy Friday, everybody. Oh, it's saying the Facebook is deleted for some reason. Anyways, welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news, reality TV, Jeff Lewis Live, and the premiere. I've been wanting to do this for a while. The premiere of our new segment, Ask Sarah from Texas, and everyone. So, for the price that you pay, which is a big fat zero, you get all the advice on anything you're looking for. So make sure you email me at asksarahfromtexas@gmail.com. Hope you are all getting ready for the holidays. I hope you're not as anxious as I'm starting to get. I keep adding things, when they were little, I didn't really have, how much I was going to spend on each one of mine because none of them knew anything about money. They would just count presents, if they even counted presents. I don't know. They just wanted to open a bunch of things. Now they're 2 in high school, 3 in college, or 2 in college, 1 in graduate school. They're very aware of what things cost. And, they still want like the big number of presents they've always opened. But also, my mom has passed away, and so has my amazing sister-in-law's dad passed away, and they used to add to the gifts, and they would get them great gifts. But now they're older, but they're also not here, so we don't have a huge family and most of the family, the big family, 11 of us, we do a gift card exchange and play that way. And then within our family, we do a regular gift exchange, like $50, whatever it is. Okay. This is kind of a personal question. Y'all know I'm cheap and frugal. Michael Riley says, what do you spend per child? I'd be curious to see what others have to say too. So yes, if you're okay with telling us what you spend. So I have 5 kids. And we spend, or I choose to spend, I think my husband would spend more, wouldn't even pay attention. I choose to spend 500-ish, although I've absolutely gone over that, as I always do. And then 100-ish, 150-ish on stocking. So I guess per kid, maybe 650-ish. But it kind of depends because I've got one kid that wanted a $500 present. So I'm not just going to get that kid one thing, so I've kind of added to it. 3 of my older daughters got their hair done, colored, blah, blah, blah. So I sent the money for that. So anyways, which we normally do. I kind of said this is part of Christmas. Oh, that's awful. Jet says, did y'all see the terrorist attacked at a Christmas market in Germany, not too far from me in Prague? No, that's awful news. I'm so sorry that, one of the things I did with one of my daughters is went all up and down Italy a couple of Decembers ago, and there were so many beautiful Christmas markets. And I know Germany, a lot of Europe is known for Christmas markets, and they're all outside and beautiful. So that's just awful that someone would choose to attack anywhere, but especially a Christmas thing. So anyway, oh my gosh, 80 injured. Wow, that's just awful. A guy drove into it, killing 11 people tonight. I mean, wow, just awful. That's awful. Anyways. Okay, we will do the Ask Sarah from Texas at the very end. So get your opinions ready. Start typing. If you have never written a comment while we're live, break that Chumpette cherry. I've got my Chumpette sweatshirt on today. All the Chumpettes were out and the chumps were out in Brea last night at the Jeff Lewis Live event. So it sounds like so much fun. Lots of chumps. You got lots of Jeff's family. Y'all got Zoila. It was amazing looking. So thank you so much for everyone that shared a bunch of pictures in the Sarah from Texas Facebook group. It was awesome. Okay, let's get into the celebrity news. You want the good news or the good news? Okay, so the good news is Wendy Williams was recently said, or her guardian recently said, that she is permanently incapacitated from her illness, disease, whatever it is all the things going on with Wendy. But we know that now Thursday night, maybe Wednesday night, I'm forgetting what night it was. Anyway, sometime this week, her one and only child, Kevin Jr., graduated from college in Miami. There are pictures of her dressed nicely. It looks like maybe a silvery jumpsuit. I can't really tell. She's in a like a self-driving motorized chair to get around in. But her hair's done, her makeup's done. She's got a bag. She's got all the brands out. Look like the shoes were the latest and greatest. She looked fantastic. So I'm told, I didn't see the picture of this, that she actually moved from that motorized chair into a seat in the benches or the seating, the audience for the graduation. So that means I don't think her guardian knows what permanently incapacitated means, because I think a lot of us remember that just a few months ago, maybe August, there were pictures of her standing with her son in like a incense, some kind of a holistic type, store in New Jersey. And then to hear that just now, when they said that about a month or 6 weeks ago, that she was permanently incapacitated, we're like, oh my God, she took a downhill spiral really fast. And we were all super concerned and super sad about that. But just seeing her, I don't know what is going on with her health. I don't know that anyone's being completely honest about it. I think there's some money stuff going on, which is part of the stuff we'll chat about in the Ask Sarah from Texas at the very end today. I think a lot of families go through things like this. But I'm thankful that her dad is still alive and well enough that he was there with her. So he's got to be, in his 80s or so. I think it always seemed like when her mom and dad were front row visiting the Wendy Williams show, always seemed like they were a little bit on the older scale than Wendy's parents would have been. So maybe she's the baby of the family. I'm not really sure. There was lots of just security around her. Obviously her dad, like I said. So that's the only pictures that I saw, but I was just happy that she looked great and that she was able to see that, right? Oh, wow. That's psychic mediums say that. Southern Bell Cell said psychic mediums are saying that this is happening to Wendy Williams on purpose because of her mouth. I think she's said a couple of times, hey, look, I was always talking about people's gossip and people's marriages and everything that was going on. And then when it became to me in my marriage and, my health and my choices, drugs, alcohol, what have you, she didn't love that people were talking about, but she was like, hey, that it is what it is. Like, I'm now part of the news. You know what I mean? Yeah, Michael Riley says, poo poo. That was her job. Yeah, and it was her job, and she was so good at it. I always say, just like car wrecks, when people say, oh, I wish people wouldn't, stop and watch and slow down the traffic. I'm like, okay, but if no one wanted to watch it, nobody would slow down. They would keep going. Obviously, in a wreck, one of the reasons we slow down is to make sure everyone's careful and all that, going around, car parts and things, glass thrown all over the ground. But if nobody wants car chases and police chases shown on the TV, they wouldn't air them, because the news people would know, oh, we're not going to get a bunch of people watching right now. And then we're going to throw up a commercial. And, people have a lot to say, but their actions sometimes don't follow exactly what their mouth is saying. Correct. So anyways, I love that. Krista's like, hello to all the chumpettes. Come chat with us. You are wanted here. Yes, Krista. I love that. Okay, and then the other good news, Alexis Bellino was fired from Real Housewives of OC. So she went on and said that she was fired. She was not asked to come back to Real Housewives of OC. They were like, how do you know? And she's like, I got a phone call. Like, I'm really good friends with Alex Baskin. And they let me know that they don't need me back. So honestly, as much as Johnny J was always saying that he didn't really want to be on the show, I think he and Todd from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which we're about to talk to, I think they have a lot in common. I think they want to act and say that they don't want to be on reality TV, but they absolutely are. And we will chat about that in just a second. Shout out Tiffany Chump. She got a big shout out on Jeff Lewis today. They were talking about the diversity, how beautiful she is, her beautiful breastises. So she is beautiful inside and out, and had so much fun with our friend Robin. So, and Izzy, until Izzy left the show, I guess. Oh, I love that. Lisa from Kentucky's like, no place like home with Sarah and the great beloved chumpettes. Y'all are so sweet. We are so lucky to have each other. Okay, let's get into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 5, episode 14. We're kind of winding down towards the end. If I had to think of one thing that's happened during this season, though, just a lot of nitpicky fighting. You know what I mean? Like, can't really think of anything big. I feel like it's not going to end with a bang, like, Monica on the beach, like last time. So they're in Puerto Vallarta, day 2. Todd doesn't seem like Todd is Bronwyn's husband. He doesn't seem like he wants to be involved in the drama at all. Yet Bronwyn calls him from Puerto Rico, Puerto Vallarta, and tells him all the drama that's going on. And he's like, okay, well, that's not right. You're not a bitch. You're not this. You're not that. And I'm like, maybe call a friend. But we'll chat about that in a second, because we later see her on the yacht, small yacht, if you ask me. Pretty sure, it'd be like, we got the yacht. And Countess Lewin would be like, I've seen bigger. But it was Lisa's, yacht. Anyways, Heather says that she gets bad vibes from Todd. So as you know, the older I get, the more I realize people really hide a lot. They can put their best foot forward on social media, in person, a red carpet, and then days later file for divorce, right? So no telling what is going on with them, but they go on this boat. It's a boat, not a yacht. And all of a sudden, Bronwyn, out of the blue, brings it up basically that she feels left out. She doesn't feel included in the groups. She's always felt like, she didn't really have anyone to trust or anyone to hang out with. She doesn't have close friends. And when Lisa brought her into this friend group, she thought that she was going to make all these friends, and then she didn't. And she's like, y'all don't even know what's going on with me. Like the infidelity in my marriage. And I'm like, where did that come from? Like, why was this the time or the place at all to tell us about Todd's infidelity? And then she completely backtracked on it on Watch What Happens Live, which we'll chat about for sure. So I just don't know why. I mean, then for one thing, she says they're only together 2 days a week because he is out working 3,000 miles away 5 days a week. Well, that's a lot. I mean, that's not even, it's like, I guess she can't move because she was raising her daughter will go off to college soon. That's part of the reason that she's, kind of feeling, starting to feel like lonely. Look, I know my daughter's going away to college. That's why I have a shit ton of dogs, a shit ton of shoes, and a shit ton of handbags. So now we know. I don't know. I just thought it was a weird moment to tell them. And then they're alluding that some of the women were taking up for Todd because they've been accused of and maybe have been on that side of infidelity, like they've been the cheaters. So that was interesting, but no one was really talking about it. I don't know. She just said that no one gets her, that she feels very lonely. I'm not sure if she thought doing a reality TV show was going to fix that, but I just don't know why they would do that when I don't think they need the money. They don't need, well, no one does it for money. They do it for fame, in my opinion, right? Some might do it for money, but I think they do it for fame, which might bring attention to either their existing companies or streams of income, or bring more money to those streams of incomes. You know what I mean? Oh, that's not a bad idea. Southern Bell Cells said, Sarah, can you ask us the question so we can think about an answer at the end? Okay, I will do that in just a second. Give me a minute. One of them is kind of a long situation. The other ones are a little bit closer, but I will condense it, and then I'll reread it at the end and ask Sarah from Texas. Anyways, but I literally had thought to myself, oh, Todd is not going to like that she brought this out. And then somebody even says, I think it was Heather, was like, Todd is not going to like this conversation at all. So then we find out and Watch What Happens. He didn't even watch it, which I kind of get, because I also think maybe people DMing him, which they are, emailing him, talking to him at the water cooler at work, whatever. It's probably sounding a lot worse than it really is. Well, I thought it was pretty bad, but he might have wanted to watch it just to see and hear for himself and get his own opinions of what she actually said. I think it was just for ratings. I think she was looking to draw the attention on her. I think it was a super awkward moment. What does that mean? Curmudgeon. Michael Riley says, Todd is just a curmudgeon. That's all. I need to look up what that means. I think it means she's kind of like a dork. I don't really know. Anyways, I'll figure out what that means. Mary finally shows up after she gets her son, Robert Jr., safe at an out-of-state place. We know that he's now completed that. He's home, or, oh, well, I guess he's home. I don't know. I've seen her on Watch What Happens Live. I don't know that she necessarily said he's home, but he's completed it and he's doing well. So I'm so thankful for that. He looked, I know he's 21, and that is still such a baby in my eyes, although my parents were both married to each other and had a baby, and two babies already by the time my mom was 21. My dad was 23. But anyways, kids nowadays, I think 21, that's still very young to be going states away. I don't know if he flew by himself. They didn't really show that part, but just the fact that he was willing and they had the finances and the opportunity to get him into a rehab place. I was very, very happy about that. Okay, y'all are saying a curmudgeon. Curmudgeon means a grumpy old man, a rich old man, a grumpy, rich old man, a grumpy stuck in his ways. Yeah, for sure. Yes. Perfect. Robin says she tosses out a storyline to see what will stick. She's a desperate housewife. And I don't think it's an accident at all that she had that dog poop all over her house when the producer's there, because I think if she cared about it, she would have been like, hold on, let me clean this up. She would have been watching her dogs or had someone, her housekeeper, if she has one, and put them all in the room, put them in the backyard, whatever. Southern Belle says, I love Bronwyn. I love when she goes after Lisa. She definitely is going after Lisa, and I'm not sure if they're just having a moment. Maybe Lisa regrets bringing her on. She's all these people get, all these housewives get involved in like taking credit for who got them on the show as if they've got this power. You know what I mean? Because gone of the day is that these people are really friends and hang out. Now it's like all like a power trip. You owe me because I got you on the damn show. Whatever they say about being friends. Okay. So Mary is there. Of course, she makes a funny crack at this dinner and is like, where's the dessert? Anyways, Lisa hosts a dinner, makes this whole thing about her brand, Vita Tequila. Never in my life have I heard anyone order a Vita Tequila in Texas or Las Vegas or New York or LA, anywhere that I've been. Mexico, I've never heard the word Vita Tequila, because if I heard that, I would probably pounce on them and be like, oh my God, are you a Salt Lake City fan? Let's chat. But I've never heard of it. So I have no idea. The way I would love to know if this fully supports their family, if she does these parties, and what is it she does, that big party that's around March up there, the big film festival, whatever that one is. I think she's kind of a party planner is what her real job is. And maybe Vita Tequila's, I don't know. It was a write-off. The whole thing was kind of obnoxious. Vita everything, the lights. I was like, did you have that all mailed down to Puerto Vallarta? Like, it just gave me the ick. It's just very, not a party, not a nice dinner, but more like one of those dinners that people invite you to, like the Fidelities, the investment companies, they invite people to come and have a nice free steak dinner, and they really just want to, handle your retirement and your 401k. You know what I mean? Michael Riley says Lisa's husband doesn't work. I think she works with him. I don't know. Yeah, Southern Belle says Lisa's all smoke and mirrors. Yeah, Michael Riley. Everything Bronwyn does is planned. Just look at her outfits. Exactly. Okay. Brittany heard Meredith crying, and she says throwing up like 2 nights before. Like, she doesn't even mention it. Maybe if she heard someone crying in the middle of the night on a girls' trip, I think I would go in there and see what's wrong, especially since we know that, she's feeling slut shamed. Also, Brittany is feeling slut shamed. So, that could have been a moment for them to get to know each other better. Instead, Brittany goes and tells everybody, oh, I heard her crying and I heard her throwing up, like almost like implying like either Not that she was sick, not that she was in a country and ate something wrong or her stomach was upset. Like crying means something emotional or an argument upset with someone. Throwing up to me implies, you know, eating disorder, implies like trying, being upset about something about that. So Meredith denies the throwing up part, but she says, yes, I was crying. I mean, it's the middle of the night and I was very upset about being shamed. So I feel like instead of going to everyone and telling everyone, it became this game of telephone. She should have just went to her, to know that someone heard me crying in the middle of the night on a girls' trip. If it's a couples trip and you think maybe they're arguing, I don't think I would go in unless I would wait for the girl. If I'm friends with her, I would wait till the husband and wife are separated. Then I would say, hey, I heard you crying. Is everything okay? If I'm really good friends with them. Brittany and Meredith are not really good friends, but it's only girls there. So I felt like she knew she could go in there and it wasn't going to embarrass her. You know what I mean? Oh, Jackie's got something for us later. Okay, we'll put this out there and then we'll make sure to talk about this at the end when we do Ask Sarah from Texas. I have not spoken to a good friend in a couple of years. Now I have anxiety about reaching out because it's been so long. How do I approach this situation? I definitely have thoughts and I hope you all do. So let's make sure to get back to that. Copy that and then paste it at the very end, Jackie, when we start talking about that again. That's a great one. Okay, let me get to some of the other ones real quick before we finish up with Salt Lake City. Okay, one question is perfect for the holidays. What are your thoughts, any holiday, but especially Christmas, New Year's Eve, Hanukkah, all the things. What are your thoughts on taking a break from toxic family members during the holidays? This could also be laid over into toxic friends during the holidays. Okay, another one's a little bit longer, and I'll get into it at the end. Basically, a person is moved from one state completely to another state, quite far away, because she had a group of friends there. Now they're not such good friends, and she wants to make the trip back home to be with family and what have you. And now they're like upset with her. So, anyways, I've got lots of thoughts about that. Another one is a situation that a lot of us get ourselves into, whether it's the passing of somebody or Christmas, like I said, about how much you spend on each other. A situation where a parent has passed away and one sibling feels like they did all the work, taking care of this parent, planning the funeral, all the things, the death certificate, all the not fun things towards the end of life, but then also after the passing of that parent. And then the brother is just trying to come in and like be there and act like they did everything when they didn't really help with anything. And the sister is trying to not have, bad feelings about them, right? So anyways, I will definitely read all of those a little bit more at the end of the show, and then Jackie's question too. Okay. What else? Angie tells Lisa, who's supposedly good friends for 10 or 15 years, that she never shares anything about her life. So I don't know what's going on with Lisa and Angie. I mean, they tell completely different stories. It's like we hang out, we talk, we don't talk, you put your daughter first, you don't put your daughter first. I mean, it's like they can't figure out anything. You know what I mean? But Lisa's like, I tell you things about my husband. I tell you things about my kids. We talk about God. So I don't know. It just seems very what I've been saying, what a lot of people are telling me. All of these girls' trips are obviously very planned out. They know the cameras are all around them. It just seems very scripted. It feels like they know what to say. They know when to yell. They know to say the word, see you next Tuesday. They know to use the B word. It's just feeling so thirsty and so trying to get camera time and not end up on the editing room floor as they've got their glam squads on these trips and their hair and makeup and the outfits and carrying a purse to the dinner at the hotel. I'm just like, oh my God. Yes. Michael Riley says, I think Angie's just being a real straight up bitch. So, Yeah, Michael, we want your opinion, especially being a guy. We want your opinion because you know what? Guys and girls go through drama the same. You know, we deal with things too. Michael says, I've had all these situations now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. So I definitely want all your life experiences. And also, sometimes you've already asked family and friends and coworkers for their advice, but you want another set of opinions. It could bring up something completely new, a different perspective. So Lisa gets upset about that with Angie, and she gets up from her very business oriented Vita Tequila dinner, and she's like, I'm going home. I'm like, where are you going? Like, serious. And of course, Mary's sitting there going, what happened to dessert? I'm like, amen, sister. I'm all there for the dessert for sure. Okay, and Watch What Happens Live was Kyle and Jessel. It was so good. No, not Kyle and Jessel. Reading the wrong thing. I was sitting there going, no, it wasn't. Bronwyn and Todd was in the audience. Remember, their spouse, if he works 5 days a week out of the country, you wouldn't think he had time for Watch What Happens Live, but oh, he does. You know what I mean? Oh, to be on camera, to be in the Watch What Happens Live audience where they pan to him and ask a question. He could have been in the back. They could have said, oh, and Todd is here. He's in the green room. You know what I mean? For sure. But he wasn't. He was in the camera right next to Joe Gorga. So Bronwyn was there. Lots of blush. She looks like not a China doll. I can't remember what you want to call, like a porcelain doll. Like her blush always looks so perfect. And anyways, Melissa Gorga launched her sprinkle cookies. I know they're like $39 plus $10 shipping. I mean, who knows? Her dress, her boobies were perfection. I think she had like a sheer. Did y'all see this? It was freaking amazing. I mean, she looks so good, so good. And she looks very different than when she started on the show. She has had some excellent work done for sure on the face. I don't know if she's had work done on the body. I think she's always had the good body, but boy, her face looks so good. Um, wait, whose makeup looked bad? Bronwyn's or Michael Riley says the makeup was awful. I'm sure she had to die when she saw her makeup. Oh no, I think Bronwyn loves that makeup. That's kind of always her look. You know what I mean? I mean, it was a risky outfit, but the boobs just were boobing. They just amazing dress, and it was kind of this faded pink color, like a rose. Oh, so pretty. I mean, next to Bronwyn, I'd have been like, I mean, you're cute. Bronwyn was cute. She had a really, really, really short bob, very cute looking. You know what I mean? Melissa Gorga was freaking hot. It was amazing. Krista says, Melissa's had implants. That's plastic work. Yeah. So she has had the boobies done. Joe and Todd were kind of getting along really good in the audience. That was really cute. But then Bronwyn like kind of changes up the story a lot and says, oh, well, Todd didn't cheat. He was just flirting. He was just talking to a girl on email or text, whatever it was. And he wasn't saying things that I would want him to. That is not how you portrayed it on the show. You absolutely used the word infidelity, definitely made it seem like, oh, he's super into his business. He's very whatever. And he just is, it made it sound like he gets bored easily or something. And she's not enough for him. And plus, you're only together twice a week, like every year after year, week after week, you know? So it's not a lot of time to really hang out necessarily together. So maybe the wiener got lonely. I do not know. Andy Cohen's rabbi was there, and she ended the show with a really pretty blessing. It was really nice show. I haven't made time to watch the Watch What Happens After shows. I love them, but I haven't had made time for it. The holidays are just so extra busy. I also finally last night and this morning made time to watch the Jeff Lewis live videos. Somebody said that Jeff was real pissy with Jameson at one time during a commercial. I don't know which one that was because I don't think I saw anything. Nothing that, I mean, I think I saw him teasing about like saying, when he's asking the first hour guest to get out. And then he's like, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. But I don't know. I didn't feel like it was that big of a deal. Okay, a lot of y'all are saying that Bronwyn's a liar. She does that a lot. Like she'll make things exaggerate so much and then whatever. Yeah, it didn't make sense, Southern Belle says. I didn't think what Bronwyn said made sense about Todd cheating. I absolutely got the idea on the yacht, the boat, that he cheated. Like the wiener entered someone else's vagina for sure. And I thought it was way worse. And then she completely backtracked on Watch What Happens Live. So I'm like, did they edit it wrong? Did she say it wrong? Did she didn't love that she put that information out there and it made her look bad? I don't know. Okay, let's talk about today's show, and then we will get into Ask Sarah from Texas. And also, if you have situations now, you can bring it up now, but we want you to get comfortable in the comments. That is why I go live, is I want to hear what y'all have to say. And if you're watching as the replay, give us your opinion in the comments, whether it's on YouTube or I think Facebook is messing up right now. So for some reason, Facebook is not live right now. But anyways, Krista says, Sarah saying wiener is iconic. Okay, Zach Noe Towers and Carrie Lewis, fresh off Chumpmas 2024 last night. I saw some pictures. Zach Noe Towers, he takes the best pictures. I mean, he just gets up and it looks like two best friends. Like he took the cutest pictures of Tiffany Chump. She posted them. Oh gosh, my brain went blank. Is it not Victoria? Veronica that lives in Dallas, who I've met a couple of times. Took pictures and posted them of Zach. I mean, it was very sweet. A lot of people there. They had 200 in the VIP, 50 people in the VVIP. I've never been to the Brea Improv, but I heard they did the VVIP, the 1 hour cocktail thing, kind of in the audience where the table and chairs are. So I did hear it was a little bit hot, a little bit crowded, and that was kind of an issue. For some reason, the VIP people didn't get priority seating, and that's always been how it was, at least all the shows that I've been to. So I thought that was kind of crappy. There's a lot of things, considering they've done so many live shows. I think there's some kinks they still need to work out. They like I heard they were going around asking the VVI people for their email addresses. They should have that from the ticket sales. Like they should already have those people on a list. The reason people want to collect email addresses is for, emails to send out, reminders. They could have that and be like, hey, if you didn't buy the Chump merch that you wanted to, make sure to buy it now. Oh, we're going on a live tour again in May. Stay tuned. Or what, you could use that for an email thread or whatever it's called. I can't remember. Oh, okay. Laura says Rick and Kelly talked quite a bit this morning on their live about Jeff's show last night. So are they doing that every Friday now? So is Friday morning their live YouTube? Like they don't record anything Thursday night. Clearly they wouldn't have had time this Thursday night because of the show. They did give a shout out to Tiffany, like I said, Jeff, Carrie, Zach, Noe Towers. They were all like, oh my God, she's beautiful. She's so nice. And those boobies are amazing. Todd, Zoila, Claudia on stage. I mean, so many chumps. Yes, Rick and Kelly is on YouTube, the Rick and Kelly show. Yeah, Rick and Kelly show. Anyways, Jeff still having issues with the trash cans. I don't get it. We just have here in Texas, or here where I live, we have one trash can that we provide. And then so it can be any color, but obviously trash cans are brown or black. And then we have a recycling trash can that is, in theory, donated by the city or the municipal mud tax like we have, municipal utility district like we have. I guess they've got more. They've got paper, maybe trash, maybe recycle, like all different things. Who knows? But Jeff is having issues with them for sure. Oh, her Monday and Fridays are normally live. Okay, it used to be a replay. I mean, not a replay. They used to record it the night before. It's Sunday, and then it would air Monday, and then Monday night they record and it airs Tuesday. You know what I mean? So Jet says, yeah, I saw Rick and Kelly talk about the event saying they had to work it. So I'm curious how much Jeff pays the talent to show up. I don't know, but I did the quick math when he said there was 600 yesterday. Just on average. Now they don't get money I don't know how much they get versus how much each person gets versus how much the venue gets, how much his business manager gets. I have no idea any of that. I just estimated, I think general admission was 75 plus tax and tip, tax and fees. I think VIP was 150-ish, and I think VVIP was 250-ish. Was it $100 more? I don't know. I'm just saying it was 200, which is not whatever. It's $120,000 for one night. So, anyways. Oh, really? D says I haven't seen it. The D says the feedback from last night has been very negative from attendees on Facebook. Ooh. Haven't seen that. Oh, Sherry says there's green yard waste, like grass. Like, I don't know. I guess our yard guys take that with them. If they trim my trees, well, when they trim my trees, that's another company, but he takes that stuff with him. But anyways, blue is recycle and black is landfill, like trash. Is that what that means? Anyways, wait, what about Shannon? What did Mama Judy say? I'm trying to scroll up. Supposedly Shannon was smashed. Really? Oh, Rick and Kelly talked about Shannon Bedore quite a bit. What'd they say? Because she has not she and I'm wow, $50,000 for one night. But that makes sense. He makes $10,000 for a dinner, so why wouldn't he make $50,000 for driving down to Brea and back and all that? So yeah, I would assume the talent gets, I don't know, $1,000. I don't know, if you get 500 just for coming on an hour of his radio show, I would assume they get at least 1,000. I don't really know. Okay, so on the second hour, which is not extended, it's just the second hour of Jeff Lewis, was Poland Patrick. Southern Belle says, when this is over, I'm watching Rick and Kelly. Julie says, Shannon is fine. People talk too much. Well, but facts are facts. I mean, that's why I like to see things for myself, because, someone might have thought she looked smashed and I might have thought she looked okay. So I don't know. I haven't heard anyone telling me that, but I don't know. Okay, so Jeff has mentioned the guy's name. So this Dallas guy, I think he's saying his name is Ty. He's coming, I guess, tonight, coming for 3 nights to stay with him. Poland Patrick are going on a European vacation. Jess Cagle's show got canceled. He'll end up somewhere else, I'm sure, but today was the last day of that. They did the runway rundown, and Bella Thorne won. Michael Beck won. Did they ever get around to saying who? You know what? I ran out of time on the app because the app messed up and I needed to go and fast forward it through the 15 seconds thing. And then I ran out of time. So I've got quite a bit of time. If anything amazing that we need to talk about, I've got 17 more minutes on the show today. So I haven't listened to all of it. They did talk about Kian. So if anyone saw Kian, I did see Kian. Like I said, I finally watched some videos. He looks more, I don't know, he looks more confident. He does look very different. So I don't know if he gained weight and whatever. He seems to be dressing a little bit different, or at least in the video that I saw him on. And I only know because it's kind of dark in the background of Jeff. Could Jeff talk to him and said Kian? So I know, but he said he had gained a bunch of weight and he's lost about 20 pounds in the last month. Anyways, okay, we are going to get in. So Jackie, if you will bring up your question yet again, and we will start with that since you were live here. What was that question she said? Do I have to go back? Hopefully she'll copy and paste it. I think there's like a slight delay whenever I talk on YouTube. Who knows? It is, Jet says, oh Lord, that app is like the bane of your existence. I mean, if you're not, and also when you get out of listening live, even if you've paused it, no, YouTube doesn't cut me off on the hour. Even if you do, what was I talking about? I have no idea what I was saying. Oh, it's not letting you copy and paste. Okay, let me go back up here and read it. It was about being nervous about a friend, but I just want to read it the way it was. She hasn't talked to a friend in a while. And she's nervous about reaching out. Video of Karen. Oh, where did it go? Okay. 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 Dun da da da. The introduction of Ask Sarah from Texas. Okay, every Friday. Okay, I've not spoken to a good friend in a couple of years. Now I have anxiety about reaching out because it's been so long. How do I approach this situation? Okay, I think everyone's been in that situation, right? First of all, and I love that you're here with us because then you can answer us. I have a few questions. If you have questions, go ahead and ask them, and then Jackie can tell us what is making you want to reach out and what is making you anxious about it, if you even know. There was no fight, she says. It's just kind of one of those things where y'all life got busy and all of a sudden it's been a couple of years since you've talked. Do you see each other on Facebook or social media? Do you comment? Do you get a Christmas card? Do you send a Christmas card? You know what I mean? So Southern Belle says just jump in and communicate and get it over with. You know what advice that sounds like? When people say, yeah, life got in the way. So she will absolutely understand. Krista says, say, dear friend, I just wanted to tell you I miss you so much and I hate that we haven't talked in so long. How are you? That is beautiful. Michael Riley says, sometimes you have to let it go. If your phone number has been the same all these years, they know how to reach you. So Michael has a very different opinion. That's so interesting. Because he's basically saying, well, don't feel guilty for you not reaching out and have anxiety. This person hasn't reached out to you either. Molly LOL says, just call her before it's too late. Now that I absolutely understand because you don't want to look back and regret that you didn't hang out or catch up with this person. Jackie, what does that mean? Oh, should I text or call? I would say text and say, what time can I call? Or when is a good time? Let's chat. I wouldn't even say let's chat soon because that leaves it so vague, in my opinion. And you know, life will get busy again. You'll feel nervous about reaching out. You'll wonder why she didn't reach out to you, and then it won't happen. I say my advice is if it's on your brain, if she's worth thinking about, then you, and I'm missing some of y'all's comments. I'm sorry. So if you're listening as a replay, you can hit the live chat button and you can see all the advice that everyone is there. This is perfect. Krista says, if your heart is thinking of this person, there's likely a reason why. They may be needing you. Reach out now. Your heart knows the way. Krista, that's actually fantastic advice. Sarah says to call, not text. Krista says a text leaves you in control over what's being said. I think text can be read so incorrectly, though. The emotions, the whatever, they might feel offended by a text. I think a call is never, you know her situation. Does she have babies? Does she have what? Does she work? Do you know the better times of the day? Is a Saturday or Sunday a better time? I mean, I would just call. If it goes to voicemail, I wouldn't leave a voicemail. I would hang up and then text and say, hey, I was thinking of you. I would love to catch up. Call me soon. Call me when you can. Call me immediately. Call me ASAP. Whatever you would say in your words. You know what I mean? Southern Belle says, I hate when I call and folks say, why haven't you called? Yet they didn't call me in that time. That's just them projecting. When you say it's too late, what are you missing? Sometimes they've missed your whole life. Move on. So Michael's saying, good riddance. They didn't call you either. So Robin says, yes, absolutely. I've been saying this. Robin said, COVID affected a lot of my communications with friends. It was traumatic and I lost a lot of work. Yes, I think people just aren't used to having parties anymore. Kids don't knock on each other's door anymore without permission. I used to have friends growing up that knocked on the door at dinner and I'd say, hey, I'm at dinner, but I'll be back when I get there. Now everything's a text. It's a Snapchat. Like no one talks on the phone anymore. You know what I mean? So keep giving your advice on that, but we've got a few for sure. Y'all are sending the best. Michael says texting is the worst. I kind of am a phone call girl for sure, but I would want to reach out, have coffee, something very casual where you know you can get by. Molly said life gets busy. She may be thinking about you, so life is short. Reach out. Okay. Yeah, and Robin, great point. Robin says you never want to call with negative news. In other words, you don't want to have a mutual friend, or if she knew your parents or brother or sister, neighbor, you don't want to call and say, "Hey, I wanted to let you know such and such passed away." You know what I mean? Oh, Michael, see, this is why I love this idea. I'm so excited to do this because I feel like we can all have our life experiences. You know what I mean? Michael says, question is, are you always the one reaching out? So sometimes I definitely feel like I am the friend that's always organizing. I'm always texting the group saying, hey, let's go to dinner. Da, da, da. It can hurt my feelings sometimes. You know, I might be the one reaching out after a year saying, hey, I just did this a week. Last Sunday, I had lunch with a friend that we hadn't seen in months. I was the one that reached out. In some ways, would I love for them to reach out to me first? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it boils down to I'm just happy that we either talked on the phone and caught up, or I'm happy that we got together for lunch or shopping or whatever, went to a show, whatever. So at the end of the day, it's what ends up happening. And you kind of got to let your ego and feelings go down a notch as far as who reached out first. You know what I mean? I think saying I miss you or I've been thinking about you is always a great thing to do. Oh gosh. Candace says, don't overthink it. She may not reply. And if she does, what to say will come natural. Oh, if she doesn't reply. Wow. Krista says, you have the personality of being the uplifter and cheerleader. Don't you dare stop being the one who reaches out. But you know, it is always nice to have that person invite you out. You know what I mean? So I agree. So Jackie, and keep us posted. We definitely want to hear what you end up doing and what happens. And we might have more advice to give. You might need more advice. Jackie's decided that she's going to text. Thank you. I'll keep you posted. I'm not always the one reaching out. So that means this other person cares about you too. We do have other stuff. Okay. Stony says, dilemma. I met a new friend in my night class who says he's straight and he knows I'm gay. IWE. What does that mean? If we hang out? When we hang out? Not sure what that means. He texts me all the time and makes plans. I like him a lot. Should I tell him? D- does he know you're gay? I'm so glad y'all are asking these on. I do have some to read that people may not be on, or they may want it to be confidential, which I understand. Okay, Stony, questions. First of all, I love this. I think if he's a new friend and you like him and y'all are doing things and he's asking you to hang out, he's making plans also. I feel like there's something there, whether this ends up being romantic or not. It seems like a friendship there, whether this ends up being a 6-month friendship or a 6-year friendship or 20 years. You know what I mean? So either way, I don't think there's any loss. Absolutely, I feel like you should tell him. Even if he says I'm assuming when you say I like him a lot in all caps, this means you like him romantically. Can he not tell that you like him romantically? Have you ever put your hand on his shoulder? What does he do if you were talking? Do y'all hug? Do y'all do the handshake when you get together? Like how is it when y'all get together? What are the things you do when you get together? You know what I mean? What are the things? Are y'all getting together and studying? Are you going to a movie, going to a bar? Are one of you coming over to each other's place and watching, eating popcorn? Stony says he takes the initiative and asks to do stuff, and I like him more than friends. Life is short. I say, since he is straight or says he's straight and you are gay, and I'm assuming he knows you're gay, I don't know what he knows. I would say be very respectfully but tell him, if this doesn't work out, I don't want to lose you as a friend. Unless it's awkward and you say, I only want you as a romantic person, or, taking that romantic thing on. You know what I mean? Yes, that's perfect. Southern Belle says to tell him you like him romantically, but I most love us being friends. And I mean, and can't the best relationships come out of being friends? For sure. The fact that you love going out and hanging out with him. Do you do the handshake? Well, I mean, they're two guys. Like, they might just handshake. Like, I feel like I hug people that I haven't seen in a while, but if it's a friend that I hang out with twice and 3 times a week, I don't hug them every single time. Does that make sense? I see that on the Jeff Lewis live video too. People he knows better, he doesn't necessarily hug or do the kiss on the cheek. New chumps, or people he doesn't know at all, he tends to do the kiss on the cheek thing. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Yes. Stony says, I don't want to lose the friendship. So that's perfect. Perfect. If you will be okay just being friends, I think you absolutely need to say something to him about it, and do it in the most casual, or, not putting him on the spot way. But the only way to do it is to be honest and say, look, I know you're straight. Does he know you're gay? That's important to me. Does he know that you're gay? Because I feel like the fact that he is reaching out to you a lot and initiating things to do, I feel like he may be more into you than just a friend. I don't know. I feel like guys don't necessarily hang out all the time. That's true. Michael says, I hug all the time. I'm Italian. That's true. But don't you agree with me? Don't you feel like people do the like hugging thing to people that they haven't seen in a while? Okay, he knows you're fully gay. So that's so important to me. The fact that he's reaching out. What did you say about Tinder? You just said something about, okay, he talks about girls and his Tinder dates, etc. And he always asks me what I'm doing on the weekends. And yes, he knows I'm gay. I'm so sorry. I totally didn't read that. Yes, I like that. LTD says, most straight men don't hang out with gay men as just friends. Wink, he knows. And this could be very new to him. Like, do you want to say y'all's age ranges? Are y'all in the same age range? Do you know any history with him dating anyone, or talking about an ex-wife, an ex-girlfriend, kids? Because obviously being married 1 year or 30 years does not mean, to a woman, does not mean you're not a gay man. Clearly. I absolutely hope this comes off really well. I love that you already know you still want to be friends with him, even if this goes nowhere. But I feel like he knows more. I feel like he's having more feelings for you than you're understanding, just because he said that he's a straight guy. I feel like he could be struggling, and maybe you're his first person that he's interested in romantically, or it's the first time he's ever kind of let that come out, if that makes sense. Okay, 29 and 23. Which one is 23? Because I think that's a very different age range. I bet he's 23. Yes, and he asked me a lot of questions about my Grindr dates. We are 29 and 23. Stony. Don't do it at a bar. Don't do it when you're out. Do it when you're walking down the street. He's the one that's 23. So I think he's just having these feelings, or for the first time, he's maybe letting these feelings that he's had since he was, a 9-year-old come out. Southern Belle says he just wants to be your friend, most likely. If he wanted to be curious, he probably doesn't deserve it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love it, Michael. I think we will do it. Okay. Let me get to some others. What are your thoughts on taking a break from toxic family members during the holidays? And like I said earlier, this can be family, this can be friends, this can be all of that. True. This is a good point. Sherry says, so when he talks about the dates, he's letting you know he's interested in that. Maybe you're his first gay friend. Very interesting. That is a very good point, Sherry. And that's why I love this. So if you're watching live or watching as the replay, please put in your comments or questions. And for those that have the questions, If you're not anonymous and you want to come and answer the questions or give more insight, then do that and update us. We would love that. Okay, so what did y'all think? I definitely have thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on taking a break from toxic family members during the holidays? Obviously, since COVID, we talk a lot about mental health, a lot. And I think it's great. I think it's something that I think people have always had an extra stressful time during the holidays. First of all, more and more in our generations, we live further apart from our family and friends, right? I mean, 100 years ago, everyone lived in the same town they grew up in or very close. Now we're moving for college, we're moving for jobs, we're moving for fun, we're doing a lot of things. So Renee says, distancing yourself from toxicity is always the answer. And I do agree with that. Now, I think there's different levels of toxicity, but the fact that this confidential person said toxic situations, excuse me, let me read it exactly. Toxic family members during the holidays. I think there's a way that you can do this by staying away from them in the party or the Christmas get together or the dinner at a restaurant, not say as much, hi, how's it going? That type of thing. Or maybe you can send them a text and say, hey, I know we're not on the best of terms right now. I want to show up at this because cousin and uncle and aunt and my husband, whatever, are there. But please, let's take a break and maybe, touch base in a few months or in a few weeks after the holidays. If you don't feel comfortable saying that, then it's probably a much bigger issue and there's not much relationship there right now. And so I don't know that a text or a phone call needs to be made at all. If you feel like you need to miss an event just because of them and it's that bad, then get together with the other people another time or come 30 minutes earlier, come 30 minutes after her, ask him or her, ask the host to let you know when they've left. And, try not to make it drama for everyone else and bring them into it. Like if you're upset with Uncle Johnny, everyone else doesn't have to be upset with Uncle Johnny. If you're upset with Uncle Johnny and they don't even know why you're upset, they don't need to know why if you don't want them to know. But the holidays are extra stressful. They're extra money, extra time, extra anxiety. We're traveling, we're doing family pictures. We've got the matching pajamas. Everyone's trying to get the best tree. Everyone's trying to wrap their presents in time. I mean, it's so exhausting. And I feel like it's just unattainable. So on top of this, having toxic family members, that's a lot. I know I'm missing a lot of comments. I'm sorry. Jackie says, I'm going through this right now with my brothers. I'm trying to distance myself, but then I feel bad. They stress me out. But don't feel bad. Give yourself the right to do that. Okay. This one is the one I talked about earlier. This person has moved across the country for a group of friends. They're not married, no kids. Okay. So keep that in mind. They haven't been good friends for about the last 2 years. She fell out of love with this group of friends. I still like them, but I've grown as a person. These girls do not own their own shit and don't work on issues. They're the types of people that stew in their own shit and feel victimized with anything that arises in life. This past July, I decided to move back to my house, states away, to help care for my aging dad and be closer to my other family members. I'm single and I need to sell my house and build up time off to go and to move. I'm kind of feeling like this wouldn't go so well with the group. So I finally told them in October and they're pissed at me, hate me, remove me from all social media, and won't even talk to me. There are 3 of them in the group and none have called me one time, no text, no nothing. I knew they were pissed because of their shady social media tactics. I hope y'all have the same thoughts I do. I'm so extremely sad. This work I've done on myself is making the sadness manageable, but I'm still hurting. So she's been working on herself. She feels like she just outgrew this group of friends. Would you just let them be? They've made it clear that I'm not welcome or accepted any longer, but it feels like they are using me to hide from their deep personal issues. I don't want to be back friends with them, but it feels so inauthentic to basically leave all of this unresolved issues after 15 years of close friendship. They've traveled all over the world together. This is where it is. This person knows the answer. She says, I know my answer is to let the situation be as it may. In no way in hell am I begging anyone to like me. I have nothing to apologize for. But they are spinning my situation to make me seem like the mean, nasty, uncaring person, and I'm the opposite of that. Can I have your thoughts? Yes, 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 and fucking yes. I love it. F them, leave them in the past. Bye, Renee says. Deborah, leave them in the rearview mirror. Michael, move on. Sarah, forget them, move on. Amen, Krista says. Deja, let them go. Don't let them draw you back into their drama. A freaking men. I agree. Like I said, I think she knew the answer, and she knew the answer. You know what I mean? So, okay, another one is keep telling us. And if you think she should give them another chance, they've dropped her from social media. She's moving states away. I say she cries, go to one of those places where you're banging up a TV, whatever, punch their face, not really, in a boxing class, something like that, and just move on. But I'm not saying it's not hurtful, but I think she already knows the situation is to move on. Okay, another one is my brother is being a terrible person, piece of shit about everything. My dad was passing away and he only visited him 3 times. I have been every 1 or 2 weeks and done all of the administrative stuff, calling the doctors, arranging the meetings, finding the home that he was in, arranging the funeral, sorting out all the legal situations, everything. He's 2 years older and has 2 kids and a wife. I have no kids or a husband, but I do have a life-threatening medical issue, in and out of the hospital all year. But I have done everything, cleaning for my dad, doing everything. When my brother texts me from just saying he's on vacation and it's cold. So I've been through this with my own brother. I was the one that had the opportunity to take off work and help my mom when she was sick towards the very end. But I just didn't hold my brother. My brother also wasn't being an asswipe like she says her brother is. So it's hard when you have family, but family doesn't all, you're given your family, you're born into that. That doesn't mean you have to remain close to them. I don't know how she moves on because there's still more information to give us from this, but I feel like she needs to be very honest, and no matter where it goes, she needs to be open to that. It almost feels like this is the kind of brother that could be so into himself or so hurt or so confused and doesn't know how to say his emotions with his dad being sick and now passing away, that he is just going to stop talking to her altogether. But then they could pick up and talk again. You know what I mean? So, yes, y'all are all giving such good advice. Remember the best and oh, I love that, Robin. You're talking to the friend that moved across country and her friends are mad at her. She remember the best and forget. What did it say? Remember the best and forget the rest. My mother incredibly divided our family and she'll never be forgiven for it. That's a lot to say in a text. Michael Riley said, yeah. Oh, thank you for asking people to hit the like button. I appreciate it. Anyways, Sherry says, I too have been through this. The other ones sometimes just don't have it in them to help. It's still crappy. Yeah, I definitely think there's people that are, there's people that volunteer their time. There's people that throw money at things. There's people that don't volunteer at anything and don't think about other people outside of their immediate family and friends. So, everyone has all different personalities. It doesn't mean they're a terrible person. I think when it's in a brother and sister, I think there might be issues going back years or decades. of having these feelings, that maybe the brother is very self-centered and maybe the sister has always been the one to take care of things, doing the right thing, and you can kind of have regrets about that and hurt feelings. But I definitely think they need to talk about it, but start off very almost understanding, even if you have to lie, in my opinion, almost very understanding, and just see where it goes and see how honest he's able to let you be, if that makes sense. I think it goes the other way though. Jet says people sometimes reunite through tragedy or arduous times. Absolutely. And people sometimes go apart where they don't talk about things, especially when it's regarding family and one feels like they've been taken care of emotionally, physically, financially, time wise, all the things, when they've got their own medical issue that's brought them in and out of the hospital in a daily struggle. You know what I mean? Yeah, Michael, we'll do you next Friday if you're available. Michael says, I need to tell Sarah the whole story and see what she thinks, but it's a lot. Yeah. But since you joined live, it'd be easy for you to tell us things and then answer questions as we go. So anyways, yeah. My mama heart would hate that, Candace says. Yeah. This is a good, y'all are so good. Jet says, here's the thing though, don't volunteer to be the caretaker, then throw it onto the sibling. Do it from your heart or not at all. But I think at some point it has to get done. And if no one else is doing it, you're not really volunteering. It just kind of has to get done. It's like eventually the dishes need to get done, you know? So anyways, thank you so much for making this a super successful. I really hope it helps. I love that people have the opportunity to be confidential and people have the opportunity to come on live and tell us more details in or tell us their dilemma in live in the comments, or to also answer more questions that we might have about it. So please update us, and thank you so much for having the balls to bring that to us all, for sure. We are going to wrap it up. Have an amazing weekend. I plan to do this every Friday. Maybe it will grow and grow and grow. So email me your problems, your dilemmas, anything you need advice about or a situation at Ask Sarah, Sarah, from Texas @gmail.com. Thank you, Mary. She says, I like this advice option. I think there's all sorts of things that are things that we need other people's insight and opinion and perspective about, but sometimes we need to get out of our inner circle. You know what I mean? And it needs to be confidential sometimes for obvious reasons. So I love that we can do that. Thank you, Krista. She's reminding everybody to hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, make a comment. I would love it so much. I really appreciate it. Yes, we're definitely all helping each other. And I think that a lot of us care about each other. So we've really gotten to know each other. It's really good. Okay, I will see you Monday, same place, same time, 4 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Don't forget, you can listen anywhere as a podcast at Sarah from Texas everywhere. See y'all later, Chumpettes. Bye.